Hi guys, I'm back. It's been a miserable day, a lot of pain. So, where was I? Yeah. Well, let me tell you this story. One morning, one of my doctors came in because at this point I had at least 10 different doctors that were coming in with different specialties and everything. Everybody trying to figure out what's going on. People who had heard of necrotizing fasciitis had never seen it, or the pyoderma, and So, I had 7 surgeries, and I had a wound vac machine on my leg, because when they cut out the necrotizing fasciitis, there's no skin there to pull over and stitch up. And so they put these sponges in it, and the machine connected to it, they like shrink wrap it over the wound, and it sucks out all the drainage from the wound. And of course that has to be changed. And it was very large. It was about the size of a football, if not larger. And so they a lot of times would do a surgery and change my dressing then. And so it was a Sunday morning, and this doctor used to always come in and say to me, Mrs. Robinson, because my last name is Robinson. And he was always funny or whatever. And he was a general practitioner. And that Sunday morning, he comes in and he's screaming and yelling at me about being a diabetic and my kidneys. I don't deserve the kidneys I have because they're in really good condition and other people take better care of themselves and they have kidney problems and this, that, whatever, and I don't deserve them. I'm thinking, what in the heck is this guy talking about? And he's yelling at me about, look at all this stuff you had to drink over here, blah, blah. I said, it's all diet. I said, I don't drink anything that isn't sugar-free. And so, I'm thinking, what's he talking about, me being on restrictions and stuff? And I'm thinking, what are you talking about, right? So finally he storms out and I'm crying because I don't know what was going on. And my daughter comes in and I'm talking to her about that and about a couple other things going on in the family. And my nurse knocked on the door and I asked her to give us a minute, because we were having a private conversation. So, she stays for a while and she helps calm me down and everything. And so, then, because Meryl was at work and my fiance, he comes and I tell him what's going on and we talk about it. And he decides he's going to go out and get something to eat. I said, okay. So, next thing I know, this other doctor comes in. He's the doctor on call for the evening. That's fine. I had told them that I hadn't eaten anything all day because when I called down to tell them what I wanted to order off the menu, because that's how it worked at that hospital, they told me I had so many restrictions they couldn't even give me anything out of the kitchen. And he proceeded to tell me that I was going to be restricted on my beverages. And I said, I have no restrictions. I said, and if you restrict me from drinking my beverages, I'll leave. Which they knew I couldn't leave because I was hooked up to this wound vac machine. It would have been impossible. I couldn't walk, nothing. So he's going on. I said, just call this doctor. And I told him the doctor's name. And so, because he was the doctor who had my case. So he leaves. Because the nurse said to him, yeah, I tried to bring her insulin and she wouldn't take it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And so I thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh. She comes back in for something. I said, I appreciate you throwing me under the bus. I said, I was having a personal conversation. I said, and I asked you to come back and you never did. I said, I didn't know you had my insulin. I had no idea. And so next thing I know, this doctor comes in. He's like, I am so sorry. I am so, so sorry. What do you want? Do you want anything you want? I will get you out of the kitchen, whatever you want. I said, well, it's too late now. My fiance left to get us something to eat. He's like, well, if you need anything, you just let me know. Whatever you want, you can have. And I'm thinking, okay, now what's going on? It's from one extreme to the other. So, oh, it went out. So, anyway, so, Meryl comes back and we have dinner and whatnot and whatever, and everybody's nice to me and everything. And the next day, the doctor on the case comes in and he starts apologizing to me. And I said to him, I don't understand what's going on. We're here the day before Saturday. I had surgery. I was the last person scheduled, and they had a very long schedule, had an emergency surgery in between there. So it took they canceled my insulin because you can't eat before surgery. So, so, apparently, I guess my blood sugars were really, really high. And they thought I was like, I guess, eating mounds of sugar and drinking whatever. I don't know. And what happened was, they canceled my short-acting insulin because I hadn't eaten. But somebody accidentally canceled my long-acting insulin. So my blood sugars were really high. And they were blaming me until they realized their mistake. And then, of course, everyone was apologetic and whatnot. But I never saw that doctor that came in and screamed and yelled at me. I never saw him ever again. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it was crazy, confusing, and, I had different medical conditions, and I guess, the left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing, and things were getting screwed up. But then one day, I had my mare pick me up to put me back into bed. My right foot moved, and there was a couple of nurses in there. We were all excited, and so they sent the people down from PT who had already been down to evaluate me, and they were the ones who left the order that Meryl was the only one allowed to pick me up and get me up out of bed. And so they came down and we did some exercises with my arms. It was, it was fine. I could wiggle the toes on my right foot. And so it was exciting, and I'm bound and determined, that I'm going to, get this is going to go away and I'm going to be walking again, right? So I had a couple of people come in and talk to me about going to rehab and everything. And they have a rehab there at the hospital, but it's very limited. And you have to show lots of motivation. Excuse me. And since I did, they said I could stay at the hospital there and do my rehab there. So they switched rooms. They took me out of the room I was in. I was in the cardiac care unit. Not quite sure why, but I was. And they moved me into the rehab unit, and the nurses there are so nice. Oh my gosh, they were so nice. And, they have this little schedule you do. And it's not much, but it seems like a lot at the time while you're doing it. And they wouldn't let Meryl pick me up. It was, something I had to learn on my own and everything. So I got to the point where I was like the rock star, because I'm like walking down the hall with my walker, and of course they're following me with the wheelchair and everything. And I did well. I did well. Still having surgeries, even when I was in, the ICU. And that was one of the benefits of staying at the hospital, was because they could switch me to rehab and still, I could go down and have my surgeries. And since I have had MRSA, every time I went down for a surgery, there was a special little room I was always in, and everybody had to be all gowned up to come in, and my surgeon, they're like, "Did you sign the papers?" He's like, "Oh crap, I forgot." So he sets the door through me pen. He's like, "We just put a giant X right there." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You can keep the pen," because even the pens were wrapped up. Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. So anyway, so that was one of my adventures in the hospital. There are other ones that I'll get to, but I don't, like I said, my phone's only let me do 10 minutes, and we're getting pretty close. We're at 9 right now. So, but the next one, tell you about the occupational therapist. She wasn't funny, but the thing she did was. So, that'll be next about the occupational therapist. Hope you all are having a good day. I feel a little bit better since I got to talk to you guys. So, yeah, if you have any comments or anything, any questions, just let me know. I'll be, I'm open book here now. So, everybody take care. Bye.